Here we go now. So, parallel lines. If two lines are parallel, if two non-vertical lines in the same plane have the same slope, then they are parallel. And then the converse of that is if two non-vertical lines in the same plane are parallel, then they have the same slope. So we can go either direction with that. Perpendicular lines. Does anybody remember how the slopes of perpendicular lines compare?
Do you have to make it negative? Negative reciprocal?
It is the negative reciprocal slope. So if two lines are perpendicular, and this is the symbol for perpendicular, if two lines are perpendicular, then their slopes will be negative reciprocals. So they're going to have opposite signs. That's what that means. And reciprocal means quick fraction. So let's do a quick example of this. So let's say you have y equals 1/3 x plus 7. What is the slope of that equation?
Of the perpendicular? Oh, 1/3.
The slope of this is 1/3. So then the perpendicular slope, the line that would be perpendicular to this would be what?
Negative 3 over 1.
Negative 3 over 1, which you can just write as negative 3. So first thing you're going to want to do is recognize that. If a line was parallel to it, what would its slope be? If you had another line that was parallel to this one.
Negative 1/3?
No, if it's parallel,
1/3.
it'd just be the same. So 1/3.
Oh wait, why wouldn't it just be the same line?
If it had a different y-intercept?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just a parallel line would have a slope of 1/3. A perpendicular line to this one would be negative 3. Correct?
Yes.
So while you guys are writing. Okay, so moving on. So now what we're really doing in this lesson is we're gonna find slopes and equations of parallel and perpendicular lines that are to a given line. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna give you a line. You're gonna have to find the equation of a line that passes through a given point that's parallel to a given line or perpendicular to a given line. So let's do a couple of examples. We've already said all this stuff, but in case you didn't get it written down, perpendicular lines, in case you're not aware, are two lines that intersect at 90 degrees. So if you think about that, like if one has a positive slope, then the other one would have to have a negative slope, right? If it's going to be perpendicular. All right, so example 1. Write an equation of a line that passes through -3, -5, and is parallel to the given line. So what is the slope of the given line? What's the slope of this given line?
Oh, 3.
So we're going to determine slope of given line. It's 3. And so our slope of a parallel line is, what's the slope of the parallel line? Yes, these 3 dots mean therefore. Do you guys know this? It's a shorthand way to write therefore.
Whoa.
Therefore, the slope of the line you're trying to find, we need to find, I'll just write it out, is also 3. But it's going to have a different y-intercept. So what you're going to want to do is we're going to have to find that y-intercept, and we can either use point-slope form or slope-intercept form. But I'll just use slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. I'm going to put that 3 right in there. So because we know the slope has to be 3, and so we have 3x plus b, and then how do you find b?
Put in X and Y.
Put in your x and y So I'm going to put in -5 here, and I'm going to put in -3 for the x, and I solve it for b. I get -5 equals, that's -9 plus b. Add the 9 to both sides, and what do you get?
Positive
4.
four.
So the line will be y equals 3x plus 4. That would be the equation of a line that's parallel to the given line that passes through this point. I'm going to graph those. So then let's look at how to find the slope if it's not a slope-intercept form. So let's say you have -3x equals, well, let's make it complicated. Let's see if something like that. Now what would you do?
Would you subtract 2x to get like the x's?
Sure, that would work. Get the x's together. That's a good goal. So this would be -5x, and this is gone. This would be 0. So I have 10 minus 4y over here.
And then subtract.
I would say, yeah, go with subtracting
Oh,
the
yeah.
10. You could do, there's more than one way to do it, but if I subtract 10, I'm just going to have -5x minus 10, and this is -4y. Divide by, what? -4. Do it to every term when you divide. So that would be, what is that? The negative over a negative would make it a positive. And really all you need is, if you're finding the slope, you've got it already right now. And then this, coincidentally, is the same thing. Negative divided by a negative. It's plus 10/4, which is 5/2 or 2.5. And this cancels that, so you get y. Slope is 5/4. And then if you had to continue and find an equation of a line parallel or perpendicular to the given line, now you have your slope, and then you'd be given an ordered pair to find the other parts. Okay.